now, Cecil Sunkwa is the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA. He's joining us on Zoom. Sunkwa, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I mean, this intervention by the president, giving these defaulting radio stations some 30 days grace period to rectify these regulatory infractions, certainly must come as some relief to you, GIBA, is it not?
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. Yes, I would say I think it's commendable. It is actually commendable because from late morning when we heard about the shutdowns that were going on, we actually were scrambling to get information and to even know which stations had been put off and for what reasons, and to get the communication. But what this actually does is that it gives us, as GIBA, it gives even the lawmakers, it gives us some room and perspective to look, and also for the broadcasters who are actually have some infringement and compliance issues to deal with. It gives them some room to rectify whatever it is. And also for those who they need some extension to do that, they can do this within this space. But at the same time, one other important thing is that, and I keep saying that, probably we're fortunate that the president has intervened. What if that intervention was not available? What would be the options for industry to, push in some kind of intervention? That notwithstanding, compliance should be number one, and we do agree that all stations, once you come into the media business, you definitely are expected to meet all the requirements.
Indeed, but it's a relief, as you put it, and then also the president's intervention and the clemency of this 30-day period. But then again, that ultimate responsibility on these defaulting radio stations to do what is expected of them cannot be underestimated, is it not? Even though the president has intervened today, and especially this is to you as president of GIBA, and what you're going to do to ensure that your members who are part of these defaulting radio stations do the needful.
You see, the relief that as an association have is we actually got contacted by two of our members who apparently they fell within the last sector, the last two sectors, which were, if you look at the way it's been arranged, they're more on the minimal side. However, we wish even that didn't happen, and theirs was close to a remedy. So in those kind of cases where probably you've missed out having to have called out the NCA, maybe because you had one act which actually meant that there was some inspection that was overdue, for example. It is something that if there was a bit of room, that is where we look for a bit of room to see if some intervention, maybe give them a week or so. So there are different cases. Of course, there are extreme cases where people have been told to shut down 2023, etc., and non-compliant, no payment. Those are definitely very different cases from the ones that we actually were concerned about. The second thing that at least gives us a breather for the stations, especially the community ones that have been affected, it gives them time to try to remedy, but also it gives a bit of preparation to their audience who have been listening to them till date, probably in the community, to make them aware that something is in the offing, and so they don't get a bit of a shock and create a space of lack of media information should they wake up and just find that their stations are gone. It gives us a bit of room to reduce that impact.
I think the most important thing in all of this, in the scheme of things as playing out right now, is that the regulatory commitments have to be fulfilled, is it not? Regardless of whatever interventions, even if it has to come again. Because you get a sense in the president's statement, and we've been flashing that on the screen, that in the view of the president, shutting down these radio stations should be the last resort. And so, in the end, what should be the way forward? Quickly, before I let you go.
It is concerning, but it was not one of our members. But I'm saying in the category one, the samples that the minister had mentioned, those are major infractions. And, first and foremost, for any Ghanaian to decide that you're going into media, it's a business. And there are terms and there are conditions that you have to meet. And I'm sure before you went in, you may have done some information to know if you want to run that business. And there are always compliance and regulations in any business that you have to meet. We take it as serious as even tax. We even advise our members, etc., and make sure that they are also all tax compliant. So if you decide to go into this media business, there are certain things that you should know and you must make sure that you meet. So for stations that in the audit came out and not having been financially compliant for that period, I think I will leave that at the door of the regulator. I don't know for some of them if it's taking that long. I am not in the position to explain why, but definitely they haven't met the requirements from that stage on.
And we're getting to know that some of them were notified of these infractions as far back as 2023, thereabout. Cecil Sunkwa, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. He's the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, that's GIBA. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.